If you are able to identify a toxic workplace before getting employed there, that is actually one of the best things that can happen to you, because a toxic workplace will not leave you the same way it meets you, and it takes a lot of mental consciousness and effort for it not to affect your career subsequently. This environment can lead to career stagnation, mental health issues, and sometimes physical abuse. And even the time you have spent in a toxic workplace is something that nothing can make up for. And sometimes you don't even have things to show for that time you have spent there. And that is why it is always good if you are able to spot a toxic work environment and avoid it before even getting employed. So in this video, I will be taking us through signs that can help you to identify a toxic workplace before getting employed at all.
Welcome to
Welcome
Love
to
CV
Love
Africa,
CV Africa,
your
your
personal
personal
development
development
channel.
channel.
The first thing is poor communication and lack of communication. Have you ever been in a situation where you're scheduled for an online interview for, let's say, 4 p.m. today, and when it's 4 p.m. you click on the link that was sent to you, only for you to get another mail that the interview has been postponed to a later date? Like, what are you guys looking for before 4 p.m.? So it is that time that you are meant to have the interview that you know that the interview has been postponed. That shows poor communication, an indication that something is wrong internally. Have you ever seen a role online that by the time you go to the interview, they might wrote it in the advert online that this role, and by the time you go to the interview, they are telling you, no, it is not. Something is wrong with the internal communication of the organization. And that could be a red flag that it's probably a toxic workplace. Because for an organization not to have been able to have its thing coherent in-house before coming to approach someone from outside, shows something might be wrong with the organization. The second sign of a toxic workplace is constant re-advertisement of the same role without expansion. Imagine you're seeing a particular company advertising for the same role like 2-3 times in a year, and it's not that this company is expanding, they are opening new branches, or they are expanding their deliverables or their team. They are just re-advertising the same position 2-3 times in a year. That is an indication that that place or that particular role might be problematic in the organization. One of the signs of a toxic workplace is high turnover rate, because people are always looking for ways to leave a toxic workplace. And if they're advertising a role 2-3 times in a year, that shows that maybe the first time they advertised, someone applied, got the job. When the person got there and see that this is not a good place to work, that person resign after 2 or 3 months, they will still advertise again. Another person will come, spend another 2-3 months and resign again. That is to tell you that that particular organization is likely to be a toxic workplace. Because why are people resigning? Why do we have 3 people resigning in a single position 3 times in a year? That shows that something is wrong, and that might be a red flag that that organization is a toxic workplace. Number 3 is inconsiderate applicant assessment decision. I've once gotten an interview by 7 p.m. that I'm scheduled to have an interview the following day. What happened to my own schedule? What happened to what I already planned to do that day that you inform me like 12 hours before that I should come for interview? And we need to understand this could happen in a sane organization, but there are ways around it. If this would happen in a sane organization, they will first call you to talk to you and plead with you that, they will tell you the situation that could warrant them to want to have the interview in less than 48 hours. And if you are comfortable with it, you can accept and go for it. But these people will just send you, they believe you are the one looking for job, so they believe they are helping you. They will just send you the job at the interview notice within 12 hours and expect you to meet up with it. Any organization in the recruitment process, any organization that doesn't care about you, that doesn't see the fact that you are human, you have your own plans, could be a red flag. I've went to an interview where I got there. The interview was scheduled for 10 and I spent the whole day there. I didn't leave that particular premises until 5 p.m. So I know this is not a good place for me. And top of it all, I wasn't offered a single table water like this. So I know this is not the place. That is another thing. Any employer that does not have regard for your time by the time you are applying for a job with them will not have regard for your person by the time you get that job in the organization. And that is why if you see an organization that do all this within the recruitment process, no matter how much they are offering, it is likely to be a toxic work environment. Because what happened to internal organization on inviting people by 10 and ensuring they are answered by 12? If you have many applicants, split it into days so that you won't keep people waiting while they have other things waiting for them out there. Another way to identify a toxic workplace before getting a job is from the job advert, like inhuman job advertisement and poor workload management. Have you seen a role that they will say advertisement, graphic designer / video editor / 3D animator / social media manager, and then when they put the salary cap, you are going to be seeing 120,000 naira. Who does that? You are practically doing 5 persons job and you are going to be paid 120,000 naira. That is an indication of an organization that could be a toxic workplace, because that shows that your job description in that particular organization is just going to be all over the place and you are not going to be well remunerated. You are going to be so loaded that you are going to burn out in no time and your productivity will remain on a very low in that particular type of organization. That is another thing you need to check. So in as much as you are desperate, you want to get something doing, watch out for organization that put a lot of job description in one job with low pay. That could be an indication of a potential toxic workplace. Another sign of a toxic workplace is unrealistic job expectation. I went for an interview and they were telling me I was looking for a sales role, and this interviewer was telling me that on a monthly basis my target is 30 million naira, that I have to bring in customers that is the company product worth 30 million naira. And how much am I going to be earning? I'm going to be earning 160,000 naira. 30 million naira worth in loan. That is an indication. If you see organizations setting unrealistic expectations with unreasonable salary proposal, know that is likely to be a problematic organization. That is likely to be a toxic organization. Another way to identify a toxic workplace before getting employed there at all is through their non-adoption of technology, traditional approach to recruitment. In this time and age, I don't expect an organization to want to invite me for interview without having any concrete reason decided that I should come in person. What happened to virtual interview? Do you even know the cost of transport nowadays? And you want me to come into your premises? Not that we are having any special thing than you asking me question on can we meet you? What are you bringing to this role? What is your salary? Those are the things you want to ask me, and you want me to come to your office. You even advertise a position and you said we should bring our resumes, our CVs to your office. Who does that? What happened to email? Even some organizations are no longer using email. They will just ask you to just send your LinkedIn URL or probably send your CV via WhatsApp, and they will pick it from there. So you insist that for us to submit application, there is high tendency that particular organization that is still doing that at this time and this age is a toxic workplace, and you need to be skeptical about accepting offer from that type of organization that wants you to still print your CV and bring it to a physical interview at this age and time, only for you to get there and they'll be asking you, why do you want to work here? Not that they are doing anything technical that they need to assess in real time. Another way to identify a toxic workplace before getting employed there is through the approach to the interview. Interview is meant to be a two-way conversation. You ask me, I ask you. That is what interview should be about. But when you see an organization that the interview is just managed authoritatively, it is the person that is anchoring it that determines the flow. You're not even given the privilege to say one or two things or to ask questions or anything. Know that organization might probably be a toxic workplace. Another way to spot a toxic workplace is through the personality of the leadership. There's a lot of company founders and leaders that have questionable personality online. Sometimes this might not be a true reflection of the organization, but most of the time, a lot of them run organization in ways that makes it a toxic place to work. Another way to identify a toxic organization before getting employed there is through lack of diversity. Have you ever went for an interview and you notice it that within the organization, people that are interviewing you, everybody you've known in the organization through the recruitment processes belong to probably the same ethnic group or are probably of the same religion orientation, and you belong to a different one. So it might not be a toxic workplace for you if everyone that you have come across in that organization through the recruitment processes belong to the same group with you, maybe religious group, maybe ethnic group or something. It wouldn't have been a problem. But if you belong to another thing, let's say you are interviewing in an organization and you notice everybody that you've spoken to through those recruitment processes are Muslims and you're a Christian, it might not be an ideal environment for you. This might not be an 100% indicator of a toxic workplace. It is just a pointer. These are ways that you can use to spot, to identify a toxic workplace before getting into it.
Your personal development channel.
Remember, a toxic workplace will do more harm to your career than whatever amount they are offering to pay. Thank you for seeing this video. If you like this video and more video content like this, kindly subscribe to this channel, Log TV Africa, and turn the notification on so that when we create more video content like this, you can enjoy them in real time.